Okay. So we've been talking about acceptance, and good morning first, right? Good morning, everyone. And the idea of acceptance is accepting people of all walks of life and accepting of other opinions, accepting of other faiths, accepting whatever is out there, right? Accepting. There's a process to it. But one of the things I want to talk about that I think is equally, if not more important, is accepting yourself. Accepting yourself just the way you are. And when you can do that, you just keep getting better. You have to accept your limitations and your abilities. And when you do that, your limitations will narrow. You need to love yourself, in other words. So our meditation today will take us through we're going to do a little mini yoga nidra, and a very short one. And you'll see what we're going through to help you to focus on yourself and your personal needs. So let's come inside now, close your eyes and focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in and a slow exhale. Breathe in this life force, prana, that works inside of you. And when you exhale slowly, what you're doing is triggering your rest and digest mode, moving you away from fight or flight. That long, slow exhale wakes up your vagus nerve, which controls your heart and your vital organs, and calms you down. So return to your natural breath and open your eyes, taking in the light. Yeah. So just a word or two about our practice, and that is that we do what we can do. We do not go places we cannot go, and it's okay if you can only lift your arm this high, that's as high as it goes. And eventually you'll get it up really high. So that's true in any pose throughout this class. We use our breath to help us move. Now, I often call the breath, but there are some times that I do not because I'm instructing you where to go. So think about that. You don't stop breathing. And that's what happens when you meet a challenge. Stop breathing. So you want to keep breathing. Bring your hands down alongside your hips. We'll do our side stretches as usual. So walk your right hand away just a little bit. Send your left arm alongside your ear, bend your right elbow, and stretch your whole left side body. Feel the stretch from your hip, from your seat, all the way up to your fingertips. Even feel it in your underarm. Feel your rotator cuff, your shoulder. Inhale, and then on an exhale, place your left hand forward of your right knee, and then bring both arms parallel. Okay, so I'm going to move my hands back a little bit more than I usually have them, right? Just to try for a different feeling for this pose, right? And your range will be different from mine. Everybody's range is going to be different. So bring your hands parallel to the best spot for your range, and you'll figure that out in just a minute. So straight arms, sit up nice and tall. Inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows and fold any amount. Inhale, push into the mat, straighten your back. See if you want to move your arms. Exhale, bend your elbows, come down, as I said, any amount. Push in to the mat with your hands, and then place your left hand on your right knee. Swing your right arm around you, keeping your spine long and powerful as it reaches up, as the crown of your head reaches up to the sky. And then turn to look over a little deeper, to look over your right shoulder. Feel the twist in the middle of your body, waking up your digestive system, helping it to work a little bit better for you. Bring both arms up alongside your ears, twist to center. Bring your arms down by your side. Left side, lean to the left. Bring your right arm up for a right body stretch. And again, I'm showing it you here. It might be right here for you. All right. And just stretch. So your fingertips moving to the left. Try to keep your hips down on the mat. Inhale, and on an exhale, place your right hand forward of your left knee. Bring both arms parallel. You can slide your hands back if you feel that's better, to keep a nice straight flat back. Inhale, and then exhale, bend your elbows and fold any amount. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale. Inhale onto straight arms. Right hand on left knee, left arm comes back behind you to support your long spine. Take a breath, and then on another exhale, twist a little more deeply to look over your left shoulder. And you go as far as you can comfortably go. This is your body. Respect your body. Bring both arms up alongside your ears and come to center. You're going to send your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers, and bring your knuckles to the earth. Yoga mudra. And then open up your heart to look up just a bit for a little baby back bend. It's mostly your upper spine that's bending here right now. Inhale, and on an exhale, fold forward any amount. Look Lift your head a little bit so that the crown of your head is reaching forward, and then send your knuckles back behind you. You're stretching your elbow, well, your elbows too, but your shoulders. Yeah. And some of you may wish to lift your arms up towards the sky, any amount. And some people are more flexible than others in their shoulders. Some people have had strange things happen with their shoulders. So respect your body. And then unfold. Release your arms. Roll your shoulders. Roll them forward, up, back, and down. Yeah. And then pause and go the other way. All right. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Make sure you can see me. Okay. So we're going to come to Dandasana. And in Dandasana, your hands are alongside your hips. Your elbows are reaching back. You're looking forward, your spine is long. You can push into the mat, or if you're on a blanket, push into the mat just a bit to lengthen your spine. Inhale, gather all the energy around you, arms out and up and overhead, coming into Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. All right, we're going to add the knees this time. So when you gather and bring your arms up on an inhale, bend your knees, your feet are flexed. Bringing your hands down to your chest, point and straighten. Inhale, bend and flex. Exhale, point and straighten. Couple more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Bring the soles of your feet together. Right. So you have this butterfly wing shape. Maybe you'll bring your feet a little closer to your pubic bone. Maybe not, maybe they'll stay there, and flap your wings, right? This helps with your adductors, your inner thigh muscles. And pause. And then bring your hands to your shins, walk your feet away a little bit more. It'll be more comfortable, I think. Yeah, and you'll get a longer stretch too. So bring your hands to your shins, just underneath your knee. Arms are long and straight. On an inhale, you're going to bend your elbows and send your heart forward. On an exhale, you're going to curl your spine behind you. Inhale, bring your heart forward. Exhale, send it behind you. Now you continue at your own pace, going from a heart opening pose with your spine in the shape of a letter C, and going to a arching, your back arching behind you, more introspective pose. Continuing at your own pace. Remember to breathe when you come forward, to exhale when you curl your spine behind you. This is waking up your whole spinal column, the little spaces, those little discs have lots of cartilage around them, synovial fluids between your vertebrae, and we're juicing it all up right now. And then come back to sit to a neutral spine. Send your feet, your legs out in front of you. Right. Rotate your legs from side to side. Open them up a little bit, about as wide as your mat. Right? Bring your hands into Dandasana position, the staff pose. Your feet are pointed to the ceiling. We're going to open up our hips here a little bit. So when I tell you to rotate, I want you to rotate all the way from your hip joint, not just your ankles and knees. And your knees and ankles should stay aligned. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to rotate inwardly so that the big toe side of our foot is coming towards the mat. Now it's not going to come all the way down unless you're, maybe a ballerina. And then you'll bring your toes to the ceiling and then open them out to the side with the pinky edge side on your mat. That's a little easier for me anyway. And then continue going back and forth, but do it slowly. Give notice to your knees, make sure your knees are in line. And that's why I'm telling you to make sure it's your whole leg that rotates and not just your ankles and feet. And then pause and bring your legs back together. Bring your right knee into your chest. So you're stepping on your right foot. Your knee is as close to your chest as it wants to go today. And then wrap your arms around your right knee. I always take this time to thank my knee for carrying me around all day long. Not just my knee, my whole leg, the leg, yeah. And now you're going to open your right leg out to the side, and the sole of your right foot can be anywhere along the inside of your left leg. So it could be all the way up to the top of your thigh. It could be anywhere else. It could be on your calf. And I always love the way the arch of the foot just perfectly folds against the calf, like it belongs there. So your extended leg is active, your foot is flexed, your shoulders are square with the edge of the mat. You're going to lift your arms all the way up, both alongside your ears. You're going to inhale. And then on an exhale, you're going to engage your abdominal muscles and hinge from your hip joint over your extended leg, any amount. You do that, you may want to even bring your forearms down to the mat, or maybe they're lifted up a little bit. So whatever works, and you will keep getting better and better and better in this pose as time goes by. Inhale, lift your body just a little bit, but stay in this slight incline. Then slide your hands back to your hips. Bring your right hand alongside your right hip. Now, some of you may not wish to do this pose. I'm going to show it to you this way. And I know some of you do it in your sleep, so go for it. So bring your hand down by your hip, your right hand by your right hip. And you're going to use your left hand like a propeller to lift your hips up from the floor and come on to your shin. Send your arm alongside your ear so that now we can have a full side body stretch. Send your toes in the opposite direction. So your supporting your weight with your right arm and with your shin on the mat. And bring it all back down. All right. Come back to center. Left leg comes in, knee as close to your chest as you can get it. And it's the same thing on this side. You're going to open your leg out to the side and put your foot where your left foot where it is most comfortable. Your right leg is active. You want your muscles, leg muscles working for you. You want your foot flexed. Square your shoulders with the edge of the mat. Inhale your arms up alongside your ears. Exhale, engage those abs to make more space and to protect your lower back as you come over your extended leg any amount. Look up, lifting your torso up a little bit. Release your left hand and follow it. We're doing this a little differently on this side. And bring your hand down alongside your hip. And pause for a moment and decide if you want to do this or not. And then use your right hand right arm, come back down to the mat. All right. So let's come on to our hands and knees. Come on to all fours. When you come, this is table pose, Barasana. So in table, you want your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. However, some of us have wonky wrists, so step your hand a little bit forward so that the angle is not as acute. Yeah. We're going to do a couple more cats and dogs here. So what we did when we had our hands on our shins, we're going to do here. So you're going to dip your whole spine, curl it towards the mat, sending your heart slightly forward as if it wanted to come between your arms. Then on an exhale, you will arch your spine all the way up to the sky. Pause for a moment in this cat pose to feel the pose, to feel your shoulder blades spreading, to feel your tailbone reaching down towards the mat. Inhale, come back to your dog spine. Look forward, your shoulder blades now coming together. They don't like to be apart for too long. And your hips facing upward, your sits bones facing upward. And so while we're in this dog spine, let's wag our tail side to side. Okay, and then come to center. Step both hands forward about, I don't know, a whole hand's distance or so. And you're going to swing your hips forward. Yeah. So your heart is indeed coming in between your hands, arms, or you're in between your arms. They won't come between your hands unless, you know, again, you're a ballerina type. All right. And then we're going to make circles with our hips. So you start in whichever direction you wish to go in, but just remember which way you started so you can go the other way next time. So make circles by sending your hip over to one side, back towards your heels, over to the other side and back between your arms, and you go in a continuous circle, swinging your hips around. And then when you come back to center next, go the other way. And then come back to center. Right. You're going to turn under your toes, lift your hips and your knees upward, straightening your legs, sending your hips to the ceiling for Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. In this pose, you're pushing the mat away isometrically with your hands. Your chest is coming towards your thighs, your heels are coming towards the mat. And now we're going to begin to walk our dog, and we do that by bending one knee while the other heel goes closer to the mat, and then switching and alternating back and forth. This isn't, walking your dog isn't an official pose. I just think if you're in your dog and you're walking in place, what else can you call it? And then come back to a full dog with your heels, both heels reaching for the mat. And notice the shape you're making in this dog. You're in an upside down V. Place your left knee on the floor under your hip. Swivel your right foot so that the sole of your right foot is on the mat, and fan open to the right. So your right fingers are reaching for the sky, crown of your head is reaching to the left, your right toes to the right. And if you wish, you can bring your shoulder over your wrist, lift your right leg. Any amount, no higher than your hip. Bring your right foot back down, bring your right hand back down, knee to knee. We'll do that on the other side, but we're going to come into it from down dog. So turn under your toes, downward facing dogs, hips to the sky. Bring your right knee to the mat. Swivel your left foot, fan open to the left. If you wish, shoulder over wrist, lift your left leg. And bring everything back down where you found them. And then send your hips to your heels. Your knees can be far apart or closer together to come into child's pose. You can have your arms reaching around your legs behind you for this beautiful pose of the child, an inversion, not inversion, an introspective pose. You're looking inside, looking at yourself. Send your arms overhead now, stretch them out for an extended child's pose. You're going to lift your hips and come back up onto your hands and knees. You're going to send your hips to one side or the other to come back to sit. So we just did a downward facing dog. We did a couple of them, a few of them. And what we're exploring this week is the reverse pose or position, or the reverse. There's a Sanskrit word that says it best, and I'll try. It's Parivrtta, and Parivrtta means revolved or turned over. So it refers to poses that where you add a twist into it, like this right now, or it's a pose that is the opposite. So what I am talking about is a reversal of one pose from the other. So we did table before. So we're going to make an attempt, and you can try it if you like, or not, just watch. Watching works as well. You're going to lift your hips. You're pushing your hands into the mat. They're alongside your hips. You're going to push into the mat and lift your hips just a bit and bring it back down to the mat. You're going to lift your hips a little bit more. This time you're going to step your hips towards your heels just a little bit more. Lift your hips and step them a little bit more. Maybe you've already gone as far as you can go. It doesn't matter. And then you're going to lift your hips and bring them back where they started. All right. Let's do that once more. Lift and step. Lift, step. Lift, step. Lift, come back. All right. So now we're going to reverse our table, right? So again, you can watch if this seems a little bit too much on your knees or your back. So you're going to lift your hips now. Send your hips forward as you lift your hips to come into, you're lifting your hips high as your knees, to come into a reverse table. Parivrtta Barasana, the reverse table. And then bring your hips back down between your hands where you started. So if you really like that, we should do it again. I have renamed this pose, though. I call it the Stefasana, and that's because one of your colleagues, whose name is Stefania, loves this pose so much. So lift your hips, send your hips forward, and come into a reverse Stefasana. And then bring your hips back down to your hands. Shake out your wrists. All right, so that was a lot. It's not always in a gentle class, but I thought we would try it. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. I was talking about downward facing dog as being an upside down V. So now we're going to do a seated V, a right side up V. All right, so bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. Bring your toes to the mat, so your torso will naturally shift back a little bit. And again, you can stop anywhere along the way, lifting your right leg, bringing it down, lifting your left leg and bringing it down. Lifting both legs, and keep them parallel to the mat for just a moment, right? So this may be as far as you go, and you may stay right here. Or else you'll release your hands, let them float alongside your legs. Maybe you'll straighten your legs, and here's our upside down V, or right side up V. Then bring your hands back to the back of your thighs. And if this is where you are and where you're staying, you're still an upside down V in cursive typeface with the little tail on it. So come up to sit. So rather than have you come up and down, we're going to spend the rest of our class at this level. We won't do any standing poses, but I want to make sure that we've done weight bearing, because weight bearing is when you're on your hands and knees as well. And make sure we get our whole body involved. So your feet are stretched out in front of you. Bring your forearms onto the mat, your elbows under your shoulders, right? You're going to bring your legs up just like we did before in Navasana, the boat pose. So they're at a right angle. And then you're going to do some bicycling as much as you feel. You can stop at any time. And then pause and backpedal. And then pause, bring your feet to the mat, stretch one leg out, stretch the other leg out along on the mat. And then walk your forearms forward as you bring yourself, but use your arms. You don't want to slap especially for your lower back, you want to come down nice and easy onto your back. All right. Bring your right knee into your chest and hug it. Another time you can thank it if you want to. Inhale, and then exhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. On an inhale, send your left leg down to the mat, just hovering over the mat for these leg lifts. Exhale, bring your leg back up. Inhale, hover it over the mat. While your leg is hovering over the mat, push it away as if you're pushing it out from your hip socket and stepping on the wall in front of you. And then on an exhale, bring it back up. One last time. Inhale it down, push away. Exhale up. Bend your left knee, bring it into your chest, hug it. Send your right leg up to the sky. On an inhale, send your leg hovering over the mat. Push it away. On an exhale, send it back up, stepping on the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And you can, go at your pace. Not as fast as I'm sending you necessarily. Bend your knees, hug them, and roll from side to side. Come to center, bring your feet to the mat. Your knees are pointed to the ceiling. Bring your arms alongside your body. Then cross your right ankle over your left, on top of your left thigh. So it's resting on the thigh close to the knee. This formation of your leg is a pigeon pose. So this is the reverse of pigeon. So this is the reverse pose, because normally in a pigeon pose, you're on your belly, you're over your leg. So you're going to lift your left leg to bring this whole apparatus in toward your chest. So with your pigeon leg closer to your chest, this is exactly how it would be if you were upside down in reverse in a prone position, but your left leg would be out behind you. That's kind of the only difference. So this pose is a very good one if you suffer from sciatica. Yeah, it helps to stretch the muscle that snares. It's called the piriformis muscle that snares the sciatic nerve. And then lengthen your left leg. Send your right arm in the little window you created with your legs crossed, and your left arm behind you. Interlace your fingers. Maybe you'll bring your left leg in a little bit closer. Use your right elbow to push your knee away. Keep your right foot flexed. And then rotate your left foot, working your ankle. Rotate it one way, the other way, then point and flex, point and flex. Bend your left knee, bring your foot back to the mat, release your leg, and uncross your leg, placing both feet on the mat. And you're going to do that whole little rigmarole on this side, right? Okay. So you're crossing left ankle on right thigh. You're going to lift your right leg, bringing your knee towards your chest to greet your pigeon leg, right? Left arm comes in through that little window, right around, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. And maybe now, before you stretch your leg, you can bring that in a little bit more. Again, pushing your knee away with your left elbow, left foot is flexed, then send your right foot up to the ceiling, straightening that leg. And do your little ankle thing, rotating one way and the other. And point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. And then rebend your knee, uncross your leg, extend one leg and then the other. To come into Shavasana, your arms are rotated from the shoulder so that you can comfortably have your palms facing upward. Let your shoulders sink into the mat, the back of your head, your arms, your torso, the backs of your legs, just releasing to gravity, connecting with the earth. Our final relaxation. Follow your breath throughout the Shavasana to help your mind to stay focused on your body. You're assimilating all the energy that you've generated. Om Namah Shivaya, I surrender to transformation and welcome the changes that will lead me to who I am. Take a deep breath and begin to reawaken your body. Roll your head from side to side. Make gentle movements with your hands and your feet. Send your arms overhead, back behind you, your feet in the opposite direction for a big, deep, full body stretch. Then bring your knees into your chest, hug them, and roll from side to side to massage your back. If hugging your knees all the way around your shins is an issue, hug them behind your thighs and roll from side to side. Then release your legs and roll over on whichever side you prefer to come to a fetal position. And then come up to a seated position. I'm sorry if those of you had to leave right at 10. I'm sorry I have taken you over to a little past, about 4 minutes past the hour. Those who need to leave, thank you so much for being with me, and remember to reflect inside and be accepting of yourself. Those who are staying for meditation, make yourself comfortable. Come into your seated position. You may want to sit in a chair if that's more comfortable. Wherever you choose to sit, however you choose to sit, keep your spine as erect as possible, crown of your head upward. Your head may dip down during the meditation because you're coming more inside, and that's quite all right. You want to be grounded either in your seat or your feet on the floor if you're in a chair. Close your eyes and come inside. Just follow your breath. And notice the journey it takes from the time you breathe through your nose to the time you exhale from your nose. If thoughts come to mind at any time during this meditation, do not fight them. They're there for a reason. Acknowledge them and just say later, and then come back to your breath or to an image you may have created in your mind during this meditation. We will start with a body scan. So bring your awareness now to your face, your whole face, the skin on your face, and allow it to soften. Notice your brow and your forehead. Let them release any tension you may be holding there. And then notice your third eye right between your brows, your center of wisdom and psychic energy. Feel your eyelids warming your eyes, allowing you to come deeper inside. Bring your awareness to your mouth and your jaw. Let them soften. If your mouth wishes to open to relieve any tension, let that happen. Notice your neck, the back of your neck, where we hold so much tension. Take a breath in to the back of your neck and release it. Another breath and release it. Let go. And then draw your awareness, your attention to your shoulders. And imagine someone was massaging your shoulders. Just feel both your arms totally relaxed, completely. They may be, your hands may be on your lap, facing down or up. Notice that. Notice how they are and just let them relax. Just let them float. Bring your attention to your heart center. Notice your heart beating. Hear your heartbeat. Listen for it. Feel the pulsing of that heartbeat as it travels throughout your body. Feel the sensation of that flow of blood from your heart. That pranic energy. Notice that your breath fuels every heartbeat. Bring your attention to your hips. Notice how they feel against the surface you're sitting upon. Bring your awareness to your legs. Feel your legs. Your mobility, your foundation, as is your seat. Your seat and your feet ground you to the earth. Feel any sensations throughout your body. And notice if there is a place inside of you that is hurting. Maybe it is a pain, but maybe it is also anxiety or grief or discomfort of any kind. Allow those feelings to be there. They are messengers trying to tell you what you need to know. And listen to them. Listen to what they want you to know. And then bring your awareness to the image of a person or a place that brings you great joy. And feel your whole heart center fill with that joy. And see that place or that person or people in great detail. Notice the colors that are around you if you're outside. The breeze orchestrating the leaves on a tree. The flowers blooming. And if you are focusing on a person, notice the colors, the color of their eyes, their hairline, their brow. Notice the shape of their ears, their mouth, their nose. Notice. See that whole person and allow the joy that the person or place brings to you. Allow it inside and allow yourself to feel that, to bring it in, to fill your whole body up, noticing how by doing that, your mind was completely diverted from the discomfort you felt before. How your mind can be controlled. Bring your attention back to your third eye, your wisdom center, and think upon all the lessons you've learned throughout your life, so many that have garnered you great wisdom. Think about the importance of everything you've ever done, whether it was a negative experience or a positive one. Every one brings a lesson. And let that wisdom fill you up. And allow your third eye to clear so that you may see beyond what your eyes can show you. You have this wisdom to share and to use for yourself. And allow yourself to know how powerful, how special, how important you are, how you need to be kind to this body as it is your only vehicle that allows you to live your life. And allow that feeling of joy again to fill up this body. To love this body just as it is, and say these words to yourself. I am worthy. I am love. I am brave. I am resilient. I am powerful. Bring your focus deeply inside, allowing yourself to love every inch of you, every precious part of you. Bring your hands to your heart and allow your thumbs to feel your heart beating. Bow your head. After your next exhale, begin to lift your head. And as you do, begin to open your eyes so that when your head is erect, your eyes are fully open. I thank you so much for being with me today. Namaste.